I think there is 100% probability that you're going to enjoy this flipped classroom video on Introduction to Probability. In order to complete your guided notes, if you need to pause or rewind the video, make sure you do so that they're complete and accurate. Let's first talk about the definition of probability. So the probability of an event is a number that measures the likelihood that the event will occur. We'll talk about how the likelihood is measured in a moment, but let's discuss some real-world probability. So probability is used to predict some potential outcomes for things like weather forecasts and political elections. And probability is used in several different professional fields. For example, the automotive insurance industry uses probability based on demographic information such as age and location to set premiums for their customers. How'd they get my car on here? Strange. Probability is also used by athletes and coaches to determine the best sports strategies for games and competitions. For example, a baseball coach might evaluate a player's batting average when placing him in the lineup. This is the probability scale that is used to determine the likelihood of something happening. So for example, if something's impossible, we say it's about a 0% probability. If something is about unlikely, we'll say there's a 25% probability. If something is equal likely to happen or not happen, there's a 50% likelihood. If something is pretty likely to happen, we'll say there's about a 75% probability. And if something is certain or guaranteed, there's about 100% probability. Now, sometimes things might be almost impossible or almost certain, so that's why we use a scale. But these main points are used to determine impossible, unlikely, equally likely to happen or not happen, likely, and certain. Now, let's take a look at some examples. So something's impossible. Tomorrow will be Saturday. Tomorrow is not going to be Saturday. That is nearly impossible. So we would say there's a 0% probability that tomorrow will be Saturday. Something that is unlikely, that it's going to snow today or tomorrow. It's not impossible, but it's very, very unlikely that it's going to snow based on the demographics of where we're located and the average temperature at this time. Something that is equally likely to happen or not happen, that you will flip a heads on a quarter. So say you and your friend are trying to determine something and you decide to flip a quarter. You're equally likely to flip a heads as to not flip a heads, because there's really only two options when flipping a quarter. Something that is likely to happen, that you will have homework. It's not always certain, but for the most part, it is very, very likely that you'll have homework. Sorry, not sorry. And then something that is certain, that at some point today, it is going to be 1 o'clock p.m. That is certain. There's a 100% probability that the clock will at some point reach 1 o'clock p.m. And then another example of something that's certain, that math class will be awesome. There's a 100% probability that math class will be awesome and will always be awesome. So on your guided notes, I want you now to come up with some of examples of something that is certain, likely, equally likely to happen or not happen, something that is very, very unlikely, and something that is nearly impossible. So come up with those examples and we'll take a look at those in class tomorrow. If you have any further questions, please make sure you contact me, and you may also rewind the video and pause at any time. All right, everyone, have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.